So, Japan has its first female prime minister, and today we are diving deep into the bold agenda of Sanae Takaichi. She's laid out a really clear vision for the nation's future, and we're going to break it all down, from the economy to national security and what her leadership really means for Japan. You know, this quote pretty much tells you everything you need to know about her platform. Change without fear, work with courage. It's a clear signal, right? She's coming in saying, I am not afraid to make tough decisions. She's ready to act and tackle some of Japan's biggest challenges head on. Yeah, her appointment is absolutely historic, but honestly, that's just the beginning. The real story is her ambitious plan to reshape Japan. So let's just get right into her priorities and what they could mean for the country. Okay, so first things first, before you can tackle the big stuff, you've got to have a stable foundation. And that's exactly where Takaichi is starting. Her initial pledge is all about political reform, proving that her government can actually deliver results, and fast. Now, what's so interesting here is how she's directly taking on that public frustration with politics. She's basically saying, look, you can't have a strong economy or a strong foreign policy if the government itself isn't stable. So by pledging to do things like cut the number of members in the Diet, that's Japan's parliament, and stopping ministers from getting excess pay, she's sending this huge message about accountability before she even touches anything else. All right, so with that political groundwork laid, let's talk about her most urgent focus. And it's probably what's on everyone's mind, the economy. Specifically, the financial pressures facing everyday people in Japan. I mean, you can't get much more direct than that. She's putting the fight against inflation front and center. This isn't just some vague policy goal for her. She has framed it as the single most critical mission of her cabinet. So what's the game plan? Well, it's a pretty clear four-step response. The first two steps are all about immediate relief right at the gas pump, cutting those fuel taxes to bring down costs for everyone. Then the next two steps get more targeted, giving direct help to businesses and families getting hit the hardest by soaring utility bills. It's really a classic 1-2 punch. Broad relief for everyone, plus specific aid for those who need it most. Now, here's a number that might seem a little random at first, 1.03 million yen. But this number is at the very heart of a massive economic and social issue in Japan. So what is it, and why is it so important to her agenda? Okay, so this number is known as the income cap, or more famously, the 1.03 million yen wall. It's this strange quirk in the tax system where part-time workers, and we're talking mostly women here, are actually discouraged from working more hours. Because if they earn over this amount, they can end up taking home less money. So by targeting this wall, Takaichi's plan is doing two things at once. It's an economic reform to get more people into the workforce, and it's a social reform to empower women in their careers. It's a really fascinating policy. So the economy is priority number one. But beyond that, Prime Minister Takaichi is looking at Japan's place in the world. She's outlining a vision for a much more proactive and secure Japan in what is, let's face it, an increasingly complicated world. She's made it crystal clear the alliance with the US is still the absolute bedrock of Japan's security. But the language she uses is really key here. She's not just talking about keeping things the same. When she says she wants to raise the alliance to new heights, that suggests a real push for deeper cooperation on things like defense, intelligence, and technology.
And this chart shows you exactly why she thinks things need to change, and fast. The whole nature of conflict is different now. It's not just about tanks and ships anymore. The modern threats are things like drones, massive cyber attacks, and disinformation campaigns. Her plan is to completely overhaul Japan's national security strategy to deal with this new reality.
So you can see it's not just about putting out immediate fires. While she's tackling all these crises, Takaichi is also laying the groundwork for some major long-term reforms inside Japan, and she's even put a clear timeline on them. This timeline really maps out her domestic agenda. Let's take a look. By the end of 2025, she wants that framework for the income cap reform totally finalized. Then, looking to 2026, you see two huge initiatives: making high school education and school lunches free, which is a massive social program, and setting up a brand new national disaster management agency. For a country like Japan that deals with so many natural disasters, that is absolutely crucial. All right, so where does all this lead? What's the big picture, long-term vision here? Looking beyond just her first few years, Takaichi has outlined a strategy to completely revitalize Japan's role as a global leader, especially in technology and innovation. This is her blueprint for Japan's future, making it a technological powerhouse again. The plan is to build these super strong partnerships between the government and private companies in critical areas like AI, semiconductors, and quantum computing. And this isn't just about making money, it's about national resilience. The goal is to make sure Japan is a leader, not a follower, in the technologies that are going to define the rest of this century. She closed her first major address with this incredibly powerful promise. It's a direct message to the public that she gets how urgent things are and she is ready to act immediately. It's a bold statement that really sets a high bar for her administration. So, there you have it. Sanae Takaichi has laid out an incredibly ambitious, detailed agenda. But, and this is a big but, turning these plans into reality would face some serious political challenges, especially in a divided government. And that leaves us with the ultimate question. Can this one fearless, decisive leader actually overcome the political hurdles and truly reshape Japan's future?